Okay, guys, so we've just finished up reading chapters 8 and 9 of Jason Lusk's Unnaturally Delicious. I'm just going to start this off by saying chapter 8 was painfully, pants-shittingly annoying, and I had to struggle and chew through each and every page. It was arguably the worst chapter in the history of chapters that ever chaptered, and I feel like I lost a part of myself in reading it. So thank you, Professor Franklin, for 57 years of my life I'll never get back. We get to the end of chapter 8 when Lusk says, "We don't have to take a step back to sustain our current living and eating standards. We can continue to enjoy the wonderful abundance of food and even improve our living standards. But optimism alone won't cut it. We actually have to be willing to conduct new research, experiment, and adopt new food and agricultural technologies. As history has shown, technological advancements in food and agriculture has been at the root of our gains and prosperity. That's why I am now in favor of sustainability. Because as I see it, sustainability and using agricultural technology are one and the same." An entire chapter before the man makes his freaking point. Moving along, chapter 9 was much better compared to that gem. Chapter 9 deals mostly with food waste and BPI's food handling practices. Now, an instance that Lusk refers to in Chapter 9 is the early 1990s E. coli outbreak in Jack in the Boxes. What he is referring to specifically happened in the year 1993. 1993 was an interesting year. Clinton had just stomped Bush Sr. That's probably because Bush Sr. ended up having to split the popular vote with Ross Perot. Gasoline was about $1.16 a gallon. Whitney Houston's "I Will Always Love You" was on every channel everywhere. NASA had just launched Endeavour to fly, I believe, its third mission, the STS-54, which was pretty cool because it was carrying this really awesome payload that had the X-ray spectrometer device thingy. Anyways, so yeah, terrible incident that he is referring to. It has been called far and away the most infamous food poison outbreak in contemporary history. Oh, the humanity! Yeah, it actually was terrible. It killed 4 kids and gave 178 other victims kidney and brain damage. Kind of reminds me of 1996, if you guys remember Odwalla Juice. It, apparently there was an incident where there was a big E. coli contamination and it ended up killing a kid and sickening 66 others. Pink Slime, 2012. I believe it was the first discussion that we had in this class. Maybe it was something that Aaron had said, but I commented in the discussion referring to Pink Slime, not actually knowing that it was going to be referenced in this book, but yes, I remember that very clearly as well, where everybody lost their damn minds over BPI's finely textured beef. And they ran a story, I think it was ABC News, they ran a story about how evil and demonic this substance was. And the picture that Lusk refers to, I knew exactly when I was reading it what picture he was referring to. It looked like pink soft serve ice cream that they were trying to say was in all of your hamburgers. And I mean, any critically thinking person would have seen that and would have like totally called bullshit on it. Except not a lot of people did, and it was on every channel and it was a big deal and everybody was terrified of burgers for a while. If you have lived long enough, you'll notice that this just kind of happens. The general public is so uninformed and has such a hairpin trigger that they are willing to lose their minds at the drop of a hat. When the media says jump, they jump. And it's like, so everybody freaks out whenever this happens, like every few years, and it's like, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. I can't believe this has happened. And it's always called like the worst thing in the history of ever, except that it's not. It's like, it just happened like a few years ago, and it's happening again. And it sucked then, and it sucks now, and we're still freaking out about it. I swear to God, it's like leg warmers. It's just this weird, horrible fad that keeps coming back every few years that nobody asked for. So, pardon me if I seem a little bleak. I am inclined to think that the biggest problem that we are facing right now, as it pertains to big food industries, is ignorance. Ignorance and fear. And I'm sorry for the pretty lackluster video I've got going on here. I know that I probably should have had like a whole bunch more like interesting like content and stuff, but I simply didn't have the time. I'm apologizing for this, and I'm apologizing for the equally awkward and long-winded, discussion replies that I'm going to try to leave, in the comments on your videos. Because, I mean, that's what you want to see, right? A few minutes of my stupid smiling face. Right?